So to start making our monster, we're gonna need our monster model. Today we'll use Barry as we normally do. And then we're gonna get a state machine. And then we're gonna edit into the state machine. And we've already got one state in there. Our monster today is gonna have 3 states. We're gonna have a wandering state, a chasing state, and a capturing and killing state. So I'm gonna go ahead and clone this 2 times, and I'm gonna rename them just so I can keep track. And we're gonna do animations for each one of these as well. So we have wandering is active, chasing inactive, capturing inactive. So I want this monster to kind of roam around randomly in this area, like a predefined area. Oh yeah, also because we do want this to be synced for everybody, we're gonna configure the state machine and make it synced. So this means that every time that the monster switches from wandering or chasing or whatever, it's the same for everybody. Let's not worry about him chasing me at the moment. Let's worry about him just wandering and going to the different places that it needs to go. So in that case, let's edit in to our state, and then let's add it into the wandering state. We're gonna get a 30 hertz receiver. I actually have the event receiver configured to 30 hertz saved as a separate invention. So we got 30 hertz. We still want to run it on person who has authority of the monster. We still want to run it on their system. So we're gonna do Rec Room object get authority, not get it. We're gonna configure our model. Let's give him the tag of monster. And let's make sure that we do modify with circuits on. Let's go back in, edit this, get Rec Room object first with tag, change that to monster. And then this, go here, and we want to run if player is local. 30 hertz hooked up to that, put that there. So now after that, what I want it to do is go toward a specified position. We want to do a set transform. We want the target to be our monster. The position we want it to go to, I'm just going to do for like placeholder for now. Let's just create a vector, but we will be replacing it with something else that gets chosen. Then we would want to subtract its position, that is get position of Barry. So we subtract, I believe, let me check, hold on. So I have it backwards because he's staring that way. So let's flip these, put that one there and that one there. So then we need a vector scale. We want to add this vector scale to its current position. So we want to take its position and we want to add a scale of this vector that we just got from the subtraction chip. And the scalar will do like the delta time. So then we'll put that there. Now when I let him go, that state's active. So he should start actively moving toward that 0, 0, 0 point. There we go. Now hold on, you see how he slowed down? He got really, really slow as he got closer. So that, I think we need to actually normalize the vector. So he should move consistently toward that spot and not slow down. Okay, so now he's trying to get to this point. I want to build a system such that when it gets super close to that goal point, to this vector, that it chooses a new vector essentially. So if it gets close to, let's do less than we got to get a distance thing. And there's probably a way easier way to do what I'm doing, but this is kind of the first thing that comes to mind. If it's less than, let's say 1, and the distance between him and, let's say, our goal point, then I want you to choose. So we're going to do random floats, and we're going to keep the Y consistent because we don't want it to go up and down. So we're going to make him kind of wander around to a random point on the map. I believe that this room is like 7 to -7, but let's try 7 to -7. Delete that one, clone this one. So now when this is true, then pick a random float and turn this, or create this new vector out of that, essentially. Do that, and then pick a new float here. Again, we're keeping the Y consistent. We'll move it up to 1. And that is like the new, that is the new kind of place. So we can probably just replace everything that this is connected to with that. Else set transform. Okay, he's unfrozen now. There we go. Forgot he was frozen. All right, so now it chooses a spot and it roams around until it hits that spot, and then it immediately chooses a new spot to wander to. Let's bring it up a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit too close to the ground. 1.4 seems to work. I think what I'm gonna do is hook up the circuits that like detect if a player is close and switches states. I'm gonna hook that up after the set transform. So we want get closest. After it sets transform, we want to check and see if, let's get this less than and bring it down here. After it sets transform, we want to see if the distance between it and the closest player, let's say that's less than, 1 for now. Then I want it to change to the chasing state. So I'm going to come over here and get these go to state and state undefined, and we'll bring that over. If this becomes true, then switch to chasing. All right. So that'll get him to switch to chasing. Well, no, hold on. Origin is his position. So the targets would be, I guess you could say, all players. So now, if he does get close to me, he's going to switch to the other state. It worked, but I think that was way too close. 2 instead of 1, because 1 seems like it's a little bit too close. There we go. All right, 2 should work. 2 should work. So now that we've got most of the kind of wandering state done, let's work on the chasing state. We would do 30 hertz, and then we'll set transform. First with tag monster. I think what we'll end up doing is we'll just get a cube and like rename it monster and take that tag off of berry. All right, so that's our target. What position do we want to send it to? Its position plus a little small vector, the scalar, or the scale, vector scale. And that vector scale would be the subtraction. So we're basically doing all the exact same stuff that we did earlier. We want to get close. I'm just getting all the chips. I don't think I'm doing a good job explaining it. But, and then we get all players. All players. Get all players. Okay. All right. So we want to get all players, and the origin is going to be his position. It's the same thing from earlier. So that goes there. We're going to do body position, or you could use head position, either one. Body position, delete this one. All right, and then we want to subtract the difference of that body position. That will be the rotation. And then for the scale, we want to, we got to normalize. We got to normalize because we don't want to have that weird fading happening. So normalize it, then scale it. And for now, I think I'll just keep it at the delta time. Then we want to add together these two vectors. So we're gonna add to its position this, set that position. So now it's in state, oh no, it's in the chasing state. So when I hit this, it should start chasing me. Oh shoot, I gotta do the authority thing, I forgot. So get authority of this object, then if the player is local, then set transform. So he should start chasing after me, right? Okay. So it follows me and everything like it needs to do, but we also want to check kind of the opposite of what we did on the last one, which is if it gets too far away. So we're gonna do if chip, and let's do greater than. So if this distance down here gets greater than 8, I don't know, I'm just picking arbitrary numbers at this point. If it's greater than 8, then I want you to flip back to wandering. So we're going to get our go to states here. It's already on wandering. What am I doing? All right, go to wandering and then flip there. When I hook this up, it should chase me because it's in the chasing state. But once I get too far away from him, it should automatically flip back into the wandering state where it's just roaming around trying to kind of like find its goal or go to wherever it wants to go to. So now I feel like we need to get to the capturing part where it actually like grabs you and eats you or whatever. Also, I have it set so that if I configure this, its default state is wandering. It should automatically start wandering as soon as you get in the room. So while we're animating, we need him to sit still. We're gonna turn all the 30 hertz off for now. His pivot point is like right here. So let's create a cube out here, kind of where that was. And I am gonna edit it so that we can center the pivot. I need to go back into the berry model to make sure. Okay, so the blue line is kind of like pointed wherever, like that's like the forward. So you wanna, on your cube, whatever, you wanna match it so like that blue line is like pointing. So these effectively are pointing the same direction now. And what I'm gonna do is use a clamp, put the cube on the black part and put berry on that part, which actually we're not gonna keep that. We are gonna change that here in a second, but I'm gonna configure this cube, make it modified with circuits, give it that tag of monster. Let's configure berry and take that tag off. So now when I hook this up again, it should still work the same. Maybe the lining up, lining up will be off a little bit, but it should still basically do the exact same thing. We know that we're gonna need 3 animations. We need a walking, like roaming animation. We need a kind of running, chasing animation. And then we need a capturing animation. We actually want to disconnect berry from this clamp. And we want to put these onto the clamp. So let's put all 3 of these onto that. So now berry is pretty much just not attached anymore. It's all these, but we're going to reattach him through the animation controller. So first off, we need to kind of cut berry. Right now, berry is one complete model. He's all one thing, but we need to kind of cut him up into different pieces because we want certain bits of him to articulate. So I'm going to edit him. So what I'm going to do is options, split shapes. Let's see, options, split shapes. Now with the shapes split up, let's select each individual shape. We're going to take all of them and connect them to the top bit there. Connect them to the top bit there. And connect them to the top bit there. So no matter which animation is active, he should follow it around because the animation controllers are attached. Now I believe that because the animations aren't playing right now, he actually won't follow if I hook it up. So I'm pretty sure that the cube will move, but he won't actually move. Yeah. And then just to, I guess, further show that, I'm just going to hit play on this one. There we go. Like it's normal. Okay. So this is the part where I have to animate, and I'm not good at animating. I'm just going to do it. All right. So we're editing. This is the wandering animation.
5 minutes later.
That's more like it. That's what we want. A little bit smoother, not super great, but it'll do what it needs to do, right? We don't even really need the second animation. We can just increase the speed. I'm going to delete this one. We're going to have to make some ports on the state machine and on the states themselves in order to get these animations inside the state machine. Let's configure this. We're going to add a port group. We'll just call it animations. And then we want inputs. We want these inputs to be an animation controller. And we'll do another animation controller, which is going to be capturing. I guess when we enter that state, I want to activate the animation. And we've got to add a port to the wandering. So add port group, same deal. We just want our one input, which is the wandering. We don't even need to label it, but we want the wandering animation to go in here. And then we'll hook up wandering animation to this controller. Let's also set the speed. So the animation comes in there. We want it to play. We'll also set the speed. We'll just do speed 1, normal speed. And then we just want to do the same thing for the other state. So entered this animation. Oh, I didn't put it in yet. And then let's make it 2 for when it's chasing you because we want it to be faster. And then we've got to add in the ports. We'll have to hook it up out here, but this animation in here and then put it. So now when I hook this up, it should, every time that when it gets close to me, it should increase the speed of the walking, essentially the walking animation. And then once it goes away, it should bring it back down to normal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a trigger volume and attach it to the front of him. And then let's get a seat. We want him to like reach out and eat you. And then we also, let's make sure that the seat is invisible. Configure it. Visible only when components are visible. So now when somebody touches this trigger volume, we want the player to be seated who touched it. And we do want them to be locked in. So I think, can I do that if I configure? And then after we lock in the players, we want it to send an event that's going to go into this event receiver. So let's make a custom event, call it captured, player captured. And then we'll do an event sender. After it locks them in, have it send the player captured. I think local will work. It'll send it local, and then that will automatically change the state machine, which is synced on everybody's machine. So it should do it all by itself. Go ahead and edit in here, do an event receiver. And then we're going to clone both the go-to state and this state constant. We'll switch that to capturing. Then we'll configure this so that the player captured goes into it. Right. Or when I hit that, it should send this event off, which will then go in here, which will then bring us to the captured state. No, let's add an animation thingy, an animation port. Put the captured in there. This animation, which we haven't done yet, but we'll do later. Put that in there. Edit into there. Edit into here. On start, run this animation, which we haven't done yet. What we're going to do now is we're actually going to edit this second animation. And we're just going to make him grab the player and eat it. Also, we need to add this. I can't do it. I'm going to get teleported as soon as I go in here. No, I need to get access to this. Hang on. Figure this. Well, so this one we definitely don't want looping. So that means it should stop. Why are you not moving when I tell you to move? What the heck is going on? I think because I have this other animation playing right now, I think it's messing with everything. Let's stop this one. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Start over. Gotta move some stuff around. Make sure that this seat is added.
5 minutes later.
It looks really bad. But you know what? You know what? It's fine. So right, the whole reason I think I did that originally was to check this and make sure that once the animation's done, it sends a signal. Okay. All right, let's go back into the state machine and try to remember where we were. I had to go get my car looked at. Okay, and then once we get into the captured state, we want this animation to start playing. And we actually need to stop the previous animation. So what I'm going to try to do is go in here, go into the chasing, and make it so that we stop that animation when it leaves the state. So stop that animation. Okay, and then start the other animation. So right now we're in wandering, but if we switch to, where is decision? We'll switch to the chasing. Okay, so now it's in chasing. Is it double speed? It's double speed walking. I can see it's in chasing, and it only becomes capturing if I hit this. So wait, did I hook that up? Yeah, I hooked it up. So it should, the arm should move when I hit this thing. The animation should work fine. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now we gotta just get out of the chair. Well, we need two things. Number one, we need to unseat the player and respawn them. And then we also need to tell the system to switch back to, I suppose we could go wandering, because if we are close enough to people, then it'll switch automatically to chasing. So, okay, so we went the complicated way last time and we used the ports and stuff. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to have an event with a property, and that property is going to be the seat. So then we can unseat the player within the what's it called? With so event definition, we'll call this one release player. Player release. How about that? We're gonna make a property on here that is the seat. Is there not a seat? There's a seat here. There it is. Oop. That property. Okay, so now we're gonna send once the animation is finished. So animation is finished. We want to send that event player release. We want to hook up. Put that on finish. Finish. Then we'll hook that up to the actual seat, which is up here. And then when we go in here, we'll edit it. Receive that event. Player release. There we go. All right, and then we'll need it to unseat player, unseat player, and then we can just tell them to. We'll just set the position of the player. Player unseat player. Okay. We are gonna have to get the player in here. So let's just go back, and we're going to make. Where's this at? We're going to give this another property that's a player. Player add property, and this is gonna. And then we'll hook up this. You can just do it like this, right? It should be the same person who entered the trigger volume. Make it so that okay, once you unseat that player, then we're gonna set the position of that player to, let's just do like I said, we'll just make a vector, doesn't really matter. Vector create, I'm gonna do 0 10 0 right to that position, and then after that we want to go to the roaming state. Now I think that does it. No, my video ran out. Okay. All right, now he's in here, he's walking, and then if I get too close, oh, well, he switches. Okay, I'm respawning up here, and does he switch back? He does. He switches back to walking around. So it worked, but I think we really just need to adjust some of the parameters, like how big of an area that it's roaming in, or like the distance at which it sees you and it starts running and stuff. So I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm just gonna get up here so I can't get too close to it. Maybe even a little bit taller. And I'm actually, you know what, let's delete these walls, because I'm just gonna make it roam around in like a 50 by 50 area. So it's gonna be really big. Go in here, go in there. Let's change this from, or not a 50 by 50, but instead of going -7 to 7, you know what? Let's do -25. -25 to 25. You know what I mean? That way it's. I mean, I think that would be fit. No, I don't know. My math is wrong. You get what I'm saying? I'm expanding the area that it roams around in. That's all I'm doing. All right. Whoa, not 725. Whoa. Okay. So what we also need to do is change the like chasing after you speed. So this kind of detection area right here. Whoop, come on. This number less than 2. That's like the radius of like detection, right? That he detects you. I'm gonna make that like. 10, maybe 10. I don't 10, 8, 12, 13, 8. Let's do 8. So we'll do, no, let's do 10. Let's do 10. So we're gonna do 10, and once he hits that inner, because the area is much larger, once it gets in that 10, then he starts chasing you, instead of it being 2 where you have to be really close. So then we get out of this state and go into our chasing state. Wait, why is he chasing? Oh! I got, okay, maybe 10's too much. Slowly. It's like, imagine trying to repair a machine. This is Five Nights at Freddy's, where you have to repair a machine while a monster is chasing after you, dude. Okay, hang on. Let's go back in here. Let's make it 8. I think 8 would be better. We're done with that. We're gonna edit into here. Let's make it, I'm gonna increase, instead of it being 3 point whatever, let's add another port onto this. Fine. But we're gonna add an input, and we're gonna add, let's just do a float, right? 0.06. All right, and then edit into it. Take that 0.06 and use it for that. So now, oh, I'm too close. No, and he's walking faster. He's going faster. I feel like he needs to go even faster. Let's make this point. Let's make it 0.1. Let's see what 0.1 does. Oh, that's way faster. That's way faster. Can I get away from him? I don't know if I can get away from him. He's still chasing me. Go. But now's the real test. We got to go see if it works with other people. It seems like it unseats him, and then he starts roaming immediately. So it seems like before switching back to the other state, I should do some sort of delay. All right, and after a long video, that's it. You know, you can add your own little spins in there, but I think the real point of this video is for you to understand more how to use the state machine and like how to use that to make monsters, and then you can kind of take this and use it to make whatever you'd like. So like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Or see y'all man out.